Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. So, the idea with this is to show off my model railway that I've been building. Before I do that, I need to tidy up a bit. So, I shall tidy up, get a good set of lights set up, and then organise this top. So, yeah, stay tuned. So, I have done a bit of tidying up on that side of the attic. I have put several Coke boxes that I'm planning on using to build up like scenery with cardboard and stuff. And I've got my little Coke train going around. Such a good little train. So I need to organise the top of here, take off the trains and stuff and carriages, move all the track, and then make a start on everything behind me. Yeah, so I've got better lighting set up thanks to the lamp that my girlfriend said I could take up here. There it goes. So yeah, I'll let you know when I've done that. Hello again, everybody. So I have done a bit more organisation. I have organised over there a bit better. All of those trains and carriages there are from my grandparents' house, including that one and these. Inside that box is a bunch of like stations and scenery stuff, so I would like to go through them at some point. I've organised the track into the different types of track that I have, so I know what I have now. I still need to organise behind the stairs to the attic. Those two polystyrene boxes have a couple bits in them like buffers and tiny little junction stations and stuff like that. And behind me I have organised it. Take it around this way. So this is going to be like a workbench. I've got a bunch of wood and cardboard, and that's a big piece of wood that I want to use to make some small sort of like, I don't know, some sort of model scene. Got a bunch of foam that I can use to as underlay as track. But besides that, it's going quite well. Also found this little car, which came from my grandparents' house, which I haven't seen for years. But yeah, so the reason why Percy's over there is because at one point, for a second, I thought the carriage was coming undone then. Let me stop these, because my black train was about to have an accident. I'll stop the Coke one so it's a little less noisy. But basically, I don't know why that little grey carriage constantly unhooks. I'm going to have a look into that, because that's the third time it's almost crashed into the back of its own train. But yeah, so at one point I had Percy, when my friends were over, going around the outside track, you know, as you do. And out of nowhere, I blame my friend because they knocked the table a little bit, which unhooked the track there. Percy just veered off the track, straight down into the gorge, and pulled every single carriage down with him. There is the remains of the accident. I have picked up a bunch of the carriages because he was pulling some of those ones over there in front of the black train. It was just a disaster. But yeah, so I'm gonna find a place to store all this track. I may just store them, or at least as much of it, on the middle shelf of that bench. But yeah, so far so good. Ta-da! Hello everybody. So I thought I would do a face-to-face thing. I thought we can go through the box that I got from my grandparents and I can show off some of the carriages and stuff. We'll save this bag for a little bit later. Right. Sorry about the noise, by the way. Right. First of all, there's this, which looks like it's some sort of station house, maybe. See if I can find the name of what it is. It's a signal box, apparently. One of the pieces says signal box, so that'll be interesting to build at some point. Cost £2.25 apparently. So we'll save that for later. Now, you may have seen... Ow! Splinter. You may have seen a couple of minutes ago that I had the Coke train going round. This is one of the carriages it's going round with. It's an intercity carriage. Made in England. It's a Hornby carriage. Yeah, I remember these when I was a kid. They were pretty fun to go around. The only issue I found with them, because they're second-hand and from my grandma, is that the tension lock hooks aren't on these. It's like they've been taken off on purpose, almost. But that's not a huge issue. We can always get more tension locks. So I'll put them over there. Then we have another one, but it's blue. Comparing them, I think I prefer the blue over the grey. But sadly, I only have this one blue one. In a similar vein, we have this, which I've always found quite interesting because it's very clearly the oldest out of all of them, out of all of these big long carriages. It's so old, it's actually a Triang carriage rather than just a Hornby carriage. So I'm guessing that this was maybe built before Hornby owned Triang, possibly. I don't know too much about the history of all the different companies and stuff. But I like this one because even though the tension lock couplings are bent, you can use this to have one of the intercity carriages locked up on either side. And you can actually make sort of a train with those carriages. So that's always fun. Right, so what's next is, ta-da! I assume that these are part of a set. It's a big assumption because I've got no clue. But I do have the actual engine that has a motor and the other side of it, so there'd be like a carriage in the middle. But again, I don't know why my grandparents did this, but again, there's no tension lock couplings on either end of these. So that's something to sort out. By the looks of it, there shouldn't be any tension lock couplings on these. So maybe it's the carriages that are supposed to have them. It's just they've been taken off or broken off at some point. In a similar vein, I've also got these ones, which are the blue trains. Well, not blue trains, but you know what I mean. I have managed to get one of these working, because obviously one of them's the back end, one of them's the front end, and the lights do light up. But saying I've got it working, it's not working the best. It's very jittery and will stop if it goes over a piece of track it doesn't like. So, moving on. We have this cute little Lineworks engine. It shouldn't be too hard to get it working. I haven't tried like opening it up and servicing it or anything. I have cleaned off the wheels a little bit because they were a bit black. But besides that, It's jittery, but not as jittery as those blue intercity trains. What's next? I got this thing. This thing has had a lot of work done to it by members of my family, including the children. So now it's more like, you know, one of those cars you get that you wind back, except unlike them, you give it a little push forwards. And I assume it's the motor that just keeps it turning for a little bit longer than you'd expect. But in all my years of existing, I don't think I've ever seen this train working. And that doesn't surprise me based on the looks of it. It's a bit of a ridiculous train. By the looks of it, someone's also drilled through the front of it. I don't know what they were expecting to find. It's actually a French train. Jouy from Playcraft, or something along the lines of that. So that's interesting. For some reason we got a French train. In a similar vein, talking about trains that are not made in England, we got this little blue little shunter, I assume. It's got a weird little coupling. This was made in Italy. And it's a Lima train. It has been broken at some point, so the top does just sort of pop off. Because I can see that someone's tried to glue the back end down. I have tried lubricating the motor in this. I just can't seem to get it running, so I don't know what that's about. If anyone has any idea, let me know. So moving on, we have the Princess Elizabeth, which is a very beautiful train. It's a very heavy train as well. Again, I've never seen this train running. Alongside that, I've also never seen the tender that goes with it. Because obviously a train this big would have a tender, unlike this little Lion's Work train, just for comparison on size. But this has never worked, and my grandma is very adamant that this is one of the most expensive trains in the collection she gave me. I said, if you say so, because I'm not 100% on that based on its current condition. So yes, I'll put that to one side. Minus the trains that are already out on the layout. I'll quickly show you them. So, first of all, we got my favourite little train from Thomas, which is Percy. I think let me sit back down. I think he's one of my favourites just because he's a little tiny tank engine. Similar to Smokey Joe. They're pretty much identical in size, except for the cabs. The cab on Percy is pretty big. Speaking of Smokey Joe, this is the Smokey Joe that I grew up with as a kid. He has seen a lot of beatings. He's lost his chimney. He's lost his buffer at the back. And his top just kind of pops off. Which I don't know if that's what Smokey Joes are supposed to do, but that's what happens. My grandparents did say at one point, before I started playing with the trains, that he used to produce smoke. Saying that, I don't see anything inside him that would produce smoke, so I assume that was a different Smokey Joe, or they've just removed those bits. A train that I went out of my way to buy was this cute little blue thistle. Again, I don't know why, I just really like little trains that are built like this. I think they're just a very satisfying sort of overall shape. He runs extremely fast. I think that's mainly because he comes from one of those like starter set trains, so it's more aimed at kids. So obviously kids want to see the trains go ridiculously fast. And saying that, he is one of the heavier 040 trains that I have. Like even my Coca-Cola diesel train, that's super light compared to this. I don't know the actual weight of him, but he's good. I also like all the little details with the rivets around the front. What else? Well, what else is in arm's reach? Ta-da! So, in that quick little break, I have run around, grabbed all the trains I can. So, to carry on with what I was saying about within arm's reach, we have Thomas. He's a Hornby Thomas. He's not very accurate to the show because he only has 2 sets of wheels rather than 3. But I like him. Still haven't got him running properly. Like, I've opened him up and lubricated all the gears and stuff. Still not a happy little runner. Not as happy as Percy. This is a train that I bought off someone on Facebook Marketplace. Honestly, the best running train I have. The guy who gave it to me serviced it all before I got it, and I gave it a quick run-in on the layout. And again, I don't know what it is about little trains like this, but they just make me so happy to look at because they're just so small. But yeah, so this one is in the British Rail livery. Yeah, I was quite happy to get that. I got it for like 20-ish or £25 off the guy, so I was very happy with that. Next up is my Coca-Cola diesel. He's a funny little train. I got him for just after Christmas when I got a bit of money, and he's a good little runner. You wouldn't have him running very often like this one, but he does go around every so often. I just like the little detail on him, like how he's got the Coca-Cola label, obviously, but just the fact that he does have quite a bit of detail on him, because like he's got all the little handles to get into the compartment where the engine and stuff is. He's a good little train, especially for the price that you can get this set at. I think this set at the minute, because I saw it in a shop somewhere and they were selling it for £50, which is the entire loop of track, this train and the 2 carriages it comes with, which I'd say pretty decent, especially given this was supposed to be a Christmas time train. I do want to get the summertime Coca-Cola train set, but I'm going to wait until that becomes a little bit cheaper. So this was actually the first train that I went out of my way to buy, which got me back into the modelling. Downside to it, he doesn't work. Like, I've opened him up, I've lubricated all the things, I've even tested that the motor works. And if you touch the 2 ends of the motor does work and the wheels do spin. Hello all. So just a quick heads up. This next final piece of the video, which is about 5 minutes long, got messed up. Welcome back. and has decided to become a square rather than a proper video like everything else in the video. So I understand if you wish to tune out, but I appreciate you sticking around till the end. Thank you. Welcome back. Sorry for the dog. Someone's got their annoying yappy little dog out. So my two trains I'm deciding to run to end this video today is my black one, my Coca-Cola one. I've even set up the Coca-Cola carriages and added a couple more, which is that, an oil one and a brake van. I think that's fitting for a little Coca-Cola diesel train. Then for the black one, we've got this one which should have a top, two flatbed trucks, one with a car, one that's empty ready for pickup, and then 3 passenger carriages. So let's get them started, shall we? In 3, 2, 1. Off they go! I think that car's going to fall off in a second. So yeah, so I think this is going well. My idea for over that corner is to build up like a hill, which is why I've laid out the 2 tunnel ends, so I can work out where I want the tunnel to be. But as you can see, even the long carriage, like the Coca-Cola carriage, that makes it through quite easily. So yeah, let me just slow down the inside train a little bit. As per usual, the stupid flatbed trucks have decided to derail. This is the one thing that I'm not a huge fan of with these flatbed trucks. They just derail for no reason. Everything else on? Yep. Off we go then. Come on, black train. There you go. Just needed a little extra power to stop jittering, didn't you? There they go. And I think, as a little treat, I shall do a transfer of tracks. So I'll put the black one on the outside track. If I just move all these carriages off the outside track, as that goes round, switch the point, switch the points a little closer. So the power on the outside. Yep. Wait, stop. I may have taken the junction a little bit too fast. But yeah, so I'll end the video there. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Next time I do a railway update, I might start making some scenery around the layout. Maybe build a hill over there. Just put up some stations or something, just so that there's actually a reason to go around. This piece of track, this straight piece, is actually my test track that I built. So I can just plug in a controller and test if the trains can go back and forth when I'm fixing them. this junction here, I want to make it split off, but I don't really have enough room over there. I wanted to turn it into like a yard basically for the trains to be stored on. But I may have to rejig all of this. May have to go on the inside track. Because there's plenty of space between the inside track here and the edge of that table that I've built. But yeah, so thank you for tuning in. See you all next time. Goodbye.